Record. There we go. Hello and welcome to chapter 233 of our streaming adventure. What we have on deck today is playing a little bit of Legacy as I work towards... so this coming weekend is a weekend as always, but this is a special Eternal weekend. Normally, the Eternal weekend events in paper have been, kind of like the... I don't want to say milestone. The big event type things that you... Again, it's not milestone, it's... I'm drawing a blank there. The point being that it is this prestigious event that, you pile into a car with your buddies and you travel there, and I was lucky enough to do well at a particular event in 2019, and that was under Vintage. And so, unfortunately, last year, they took those Eternal Weekend events and broke them apart into separate weekends and had Legacy on one weekend and Vintage on a different weekend on Magic Online. And that is, again, going to be the case this year, that there is no official paper Eternal Weekend event. However, the Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy event this coming Saturday, check your clocks, that will be the 20th in Columbus, Ohio. I am traveling to that, and my intent is to get this, I have a general idea what I want to play, with the idea, this is the last minute testing, is this in fact what I want to do? And then on Sunday, I'm going to be able to play in the Eternal. There are 3 different Eternal Weekend online events. There's a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday event. The Friday one starts at 8 p.m. for me, so that's not reasonable. And then the Saturday one is 5 a.m. Well, I'm going to be doing the paper event on Saturday, so then Sunday 1 p.m. is the one I'm going to be able to play, with the idea being the deck I play in paper Saturday, and the deck will be the deck I play virtually Sunday. I guess, though, with the unlocked accounts right now, I could potentially have, see a cool deck or something like that, and based on that, be able to play a different deck. And that would be, I don't know, we'll say interesting. But what I came back to was 8cast. I think I knew early on the card I absolutely wanted to play was Urza Saga. Let me find it here behind me. I've been putting together the deck in paper, and I definitely wanted to be able to focus around that card, and I thought this is one of the most powerful effects to be happening lately, and knowing I wanted to build around that, it was, okay, well, what are the other cards going to be? Because right now, that card is seeing play in 8cast, it's seeing play in Death and Taxes, it's seeing play in lands, it's seeing play... I think I saw some weird, Telam Tor Edict deck. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, thank you. But, yeah, so I know I want to play something with this card. It's just, what do I want to put around it? And so, in a deck that's focusing on making these constructs, I also like the ability of the 3rd chapter of Urza Saga being able to tutor out 1-drops or 0-drops. And the idea of being able to get a Shadow Spear so you can break through with Trample and things like that. And originally, I was playing this version that had full-blown Echo of Aeons and stuff like that. And I really think that's not the right way to go anymore. Not necessarily having the protection of defense grid or hull breacher or Narset or any of those type effects. I don't think similar to in Vintage right now, I believe having the incremental draw two cards of Thoughtcast and Thought Monitor sets you up to, instead of having to go all in on paradoxical outcome. And so in this case, that's like what the Echo of Eons is your all-in effect. And I don't think I necessarily want that. So I was looking at other recently, because this is a list of mine that I had loaded, other top finishing 8-cast decks out there. And some of them include, where is it? So here's a recent 5-0 league. Emery Psy Thought Monitor, Force of Will Thoughtcast, Chalice, Lotus Petal, Bauble, Opal, all of this stuff is pretty similar to what I already had. It has, I think, one more land than I did, but then Nettlecyst. Nettlecyst is an interesting card. Similar to Cranial Plating. It comes in Living Weapon and already has, it's like an XX, or I should say, it is +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. So it's similar to the constructs that we're going to have. But if the flyers coming from either Retrofit or Foundry able to make Thopter, Psy will make Thopters, or Thought Monitor is a flyer, being able to equip a Nettlecyst onto a flyer, suddenly that's a little bit more powerful than the normal construct tokens that we would. Now, one thing I do want to fit in, as powerful as we just talked about Psy being there, I am a fan of Urza. Now, obviously, I already said that I like Urza Saga, but I mean, like, what about like legit Urza? And so, okay, here's a previous version of Echoes that I played, and I played Echoes to a challenge top 8. Well, actually, I made the finals of a challenge that could have potentially been a win if I had my stops properly set. So I feel like I know something about playing this artifact blue style, and I do think, having said that Echo of Eons is not where I want to be, but that does make me wonder about, say, Karn and Urza. Now, this 8-cast version, did it have Karn? Yeah, it doesn't even have either Karn, which I think is wrong. Karn, where is he? We have a couple different Karns. We have Karn Great Creator, who you can have your artifact package and stuff like that, and then Karn Scion, who just spits out the XXs. I feel like if I were to go even deeper in the pool and want like alternate options, then Karn the Great Creator is powerful there. But if I'm all on let's just kind of be aggro and play things out like that, then I do think Scion is likely better. And in looking at, like we just said, the other currently best performing decks, let's just go ahead and let's pull this one through so we can look at it, instead of me having to move everything around. Yes, use that one. Okay, so similar to what we were saying, 15 lands. See, where would I trim to try to fit Urza's in here? I think you have your suite of 1-mana things that are coming off Urza Saga. I feel like I saw another interesting deck out there. Sorry. Was it this one? That looks pretty similar. Although this is still keeping a little bit of the Echo and Lion's Eye package, and I don't know if I need that. What about... Because one of the cards, like, say, Nettlecyst in the Urza slot is more efficient. I'm just thinking of Urza. Urza is going to bring along a token, which effectively Nettlecyst does as well. But you can kind of chain off more, because I don't know if you've seen where it's like you play a Thought Monitor, but then you can tap the Thought Monitor for blue through Urza to play your next Thought Monitor, to play your next Thought Cast, stuff like that. I could see trimming a Sai for a Urza. The other question is Chalice of the Void good enough right now? Chalice of the Void has waxed and waned in popularity, especially with the white removal card, Prismatic Ending. Prismatic Ending is... I guess it's one of those things is, what if they don't have Prismatic Ending? We can really punish somebody with a quick Chalice. So, let's... How about just actual Urza Lord? High Artificer. Okay, so we trim a Sai for that. While it doesn't straight up defeat it anymore, I would agree. It still does a pretty good job. The other thing I'm looking at here, I like Torpor Orbs coming... Okay, there it was. This is the card I was trying to think of. Aether Spellbomb. Aether Spellbomb is a card that lets us deal. It's something that can slide in off an Urza Saga and be able to bounce a Merit Lage, bounce our opponent's cards, and kind of like break through in a way. Is there anything else? I'm not overly excited about Urza's Bauble and... Sorry, these Lotus Petals are annoying me. The last thing is, I think, is it Thraben U? Yes. Okay. Thraben University, go follow them on YouTube, posted a deck today where not only did it have Sai and Urza, but also went Painter Grindstone. Now, we've been playing different versions of Painter, and overall, I think it is powerful. I like the combo aspect of Painter Grindstone. I just wonder... I do think that red... Because what I have played recently, I've played Blue Painter and I've played Red Painter, and I think the Red Painter is just better. I like that Urza Saga is able to tutor out that Grindstone, but for the most part, I don't think this is the right way, or I don't think this is necessarily how I want to approach it. Let me just move that back out of the way. So, the last thing is, maybe I can trim, let's get the Karn Scion. Yes. That was the difference between the Echo of Eons version and this. I feel like you have more ability to... I don't know, just... Force of Will is respectable. Four, 1, 1, 1. I kind of want a graveyard removal, so I'm going to move this Soul Guide Lantern into the deck. Soul Guide Lantern theoretically could also loop with Emery to do stuff. The real question is, you do make a good point, is Karn there more to shore up certain matchups? Well, we got plenty of time. Torpor Orbs, another Pithing Needle, Caracas. Do I want more Grafdigger's Cages? I guess we don't have actual. Let's look at what other sideboard options are. This is the deck I'm playing. Okay. Similar decks: Sandy Dog, Engineered Explosives, Grafdigger's Cage, Pithing Needle. Similar list. Similar list. I mean, people pretty much seem to agree on a lot of, maybe another graveyard removal, because you have Dismembers. We don't currently have, and maybe that's a lot of it, is by playing Chalice, you're taking away some of the options that you would normally have there. Yeah, almost all of these sideboards are the same, which is interesting. Yeah, I say I want an extra graveyard removal. Well, let's add one. All right, so 60, 15. Let's try this. So, how many people are signed up so far? 5. Okay, plenty of time. Plenty of time. Let's hop into a league. So going back to this is the Chalice version, which I haven't played in a while. On the play is nice. So what is this? This is I'm mulliganing that. They also mulligan to 6. This reduces Emery by 1. I don't think that's good enough. So I mulligan to 5. We'll see how far they go. Alright, so we're going to keep here. Gotta put 2 cards back. The fact I'm already down, it's just like, do I get rid of Force Shadow Spear? The hope of a payoff. I could have a turn 2 Psy play a Bauble to start to work on artifacts. No, that's not what I meant to click. Let's see what they do. Sure. Bad for me. Are they targeting themselves by chance? No? Too bad. Yep. Okay. That's not. I meant to play out. Well, okay, that's pretty dumb. Hey, do you have Daze Protection? Well, no. Okay. I don't necessarily want to put a card in my hand. Thespian's Stage. Okay. They could be. I was gonna say they could be the Curses deck, or they also could be Turbo Depths. Turbo Depths seems likely. I could put X on 2. What did my deck cost 2? Nothing currently costs 2. That might be worthwhile. Yep. Thespian Stage. Deck for 2. Okay. Current cost 4. Nice. Yep. Copy Forest. That makes the most sense. Then it can't be Wastelanded. Another Confidant. That's terrible for me. Take it. Now, if we could get something like Emery into Thought Monitor, would be sweet. One, two, three. I might as well take 2, because if I draw a blue, maybe I can chain into something. I think that 2 life is worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I just need to stay alive long enough to get Emery to recur the Thought Monitor. Potentially, if I can hit Psy here. They might also just have Vampire Hexmage, remove the counters on one of your chalices. No, that doesn't work. Chalice on 2. Well, I'm going to block. So, if I had more time, I could set Emery up, looping Thought Monitor. But in the meantime, we're dead. Turbo Depths. Lose the first one. All right. Knowing they are Turbo Depths, I want Caracas. Sorry. I think I want Caracas. And I want Spellbomb. Pithy Needle would still be worthwhile because Pithy Needle can come out on... Drawing a blank. Thespian Stage. But there's also other things that it can happen to us, and it just won't do me any good. Is Chalice good? They have Thoughtseize. Likely have crop rotation. So Chalices are okay, but not amazing. And the fact that I'm going to have like a 1-mana card that I might want to play and my own Chalice could hurt me, that might be a reason to take it out. We are more likely to have effects being played on my turn than the opponent's turn. So Force of Negation is not as good for me, although they could have... Well, no, if they have Force of Vigor, Force of Negation is not the thing that's going to be able to stop it. So Pithy Needle, Retrofitter Foundry could make Thopters. Sai can make Thopters. It's probably Karn, another expensive effect. Hope to... I mean, if I can get lifelink on a large XX, I might be able to break through, or at least have enough life to stay ahead of Merit Lage. I mean, that's kind of a pipe dream, but at least be able to take a hit from Merit Lage. How about that? One, two. This is another case where I'm not going to get to Chalice in turn 2, and I'm going to get Thoughtseized prior to that. But I think I keep. So then the question is, do I deploy... They've already mulliganed. Do I deploy the Bauble early? They're down to 5 cards. And it could be as simple as they're looking for something like Collector Oof. Collector Oof could be bad for me. Oh, yeah, they went down to 5. So I think there is reason to run this out there. And the fact that I do have Force of Wills is the only reason I'm going to cash it in now. Plague Engineer. Plague Engineer on Thopter could be bad news. Okay. Pass turn. I'll draw a card. Lotus Petal. Urborg. Urborg pass is interesting. Okay, so I would like to get Emery set up. I could theoretically go land, Chalice on 1, play Lotus Petal, and spit Emery out here. Declare, pay my blue. I only paid 1 mana, but it's not a 1 mana spell. They could still have Force of Vigor. Ancient Tomb, Mox Petal, okay. Nothing. Oh, I have their upkeep stop still set. Turn that off. Thespian Stage, they could just have. Okay. So, Spell Bomb, which I cannot play. Cool. Thank you, Chalice. Alright. Lotus Petal would enable me to get Sai into play. Actually, Mox Opal would be better. Let's play that one. And then what will potentially be nice is that the tokens that are created from Psi will reduce the Thought Monitor costs. Thoughtseize. One, two, three. Currently 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. We play the Lotus Petal. That's 4, 5, making Thought Monitor cost 2. Yep. So Thopter's likely not going to be the trick. Yep. Luckily, your construct. Right on time there. So if I were to bring back Lotus Petal, Lotus Petal will let me play Karn. We'll yield to that even though they're going to die. Come on, guys. There we go. So let's play a Karn. And let's generate a construct. Hello, Van Wedge. Thank you for stopping by. All right, and worst case, we do have Force of Will available. Oh, I did not consider it. I could Psi to eat the Chalice to play Spellbomb if absolutely necessary. That is something I didn't take into account. Actually, it might be clever. So right now, they could send, theoretically, and they played the land. If they sent Plague Engineer in, would I trade it with my Construct? Probably. Okay. So the question here is, do I want to let that happen? It would get me another land, but I think I get more mileage. No, take the land. Force of Will could be saved for something later. Vampire Hexmage. This removes counters, but that's not what this currently is doing. I think I'll let that happen. Because they can take the counter off the Chalice and turn my ones back on, or turn everybody's ones back on. One, two, three, 4 right now. I guess we'll see. Does this make them buy? Okay, so they went after Chalice of the Void. I will allow it. We've chosen Lotus Petal. We don't have to play it yet. I'm going to play Aether Spellbomb. Bounce that. One, two, three, four. This costs. Yep, gets countered. Gets me a Psy. This costs 2 mana now. Draw 2 cards. I do not currently have any extra blue mana, so let's attack for 8. We actually have double force right now. That's pretty sweet. Flip over a big one. Duress. We could force them to play Duress and Thoughtseize. They've got 5 cards total. They did not play Dark Depths, which would have been scarier. Plague Engineer. I'm going to counter that. They could feel free to Thoughtseize or Duress me now. Oh, please play Duress. Please play Duress. Okay, they chose to do nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cost a single blue. There's a new Chalice. Let's play a Spellbomb this time. I like to cast a Spellbomb. We'll bounce that. Cast this. An attack for a lot. Should be lethal. Nope, paying costs. Abrupt Decay. Okay. Settle for 5, putting them at 5. They have Thoughtseize, Duress, and Dark Confidant in hand. I'm still okay with that. That will be swinging in for lethal. So I'm going to pass. Yep. Okay. So we saw Abrupt Decay. We saw Assassin's Trophy. Maybe I want Dismember, and I should think about how Dismember interacts with not having to rely on either Spellbomb. We did bring in the Caracas. Theoretically, I could think about shaving a land for the Caracas. I didn't do that. If I want these Dismembers, what's nice also is them playing Urborg every time. It actually, I could alt cast the Dismember, which is kind of funny. Do I want Pithing Needle? Do I want stuff like that over these Chalices? Like, the Chalices have turned off my own stuff almost to my detriment. It could just be a liability. I have Pithing Needle. It would give me an extra Pithing Needle to go after their... Try to go after Thespian Stage. I'm going to try that. See if it works. They're keeping 7, which is bad, because my thought is I go land this, play turn 1 Emery. If they strip that Emery out of my hand, they could also just be on like multiple discard effects, which might be fine. Like, I don't think this is a panic go digging for Force of Will hand. Sure. We didn't panic. Force, Thought Cast, Snow Covered Island, Karn. Well, crap. Yeah, as of right now, this is just a pass. Hey, worst case, I can block. There's our Urborg. Abrupt Decay the Emery. Well, I can't counter that. So now the question is, that's an interesting one. Did they bring Did they bring it in? One, two, three. So as of right now, this costs 2. If I play Urza Saga, I know they're going to draw a Tabernacle. I can't cash in this Bauble yet, or I turn off my Mox Opal. We know they are drawing Tabernacle here. One thing I wonder is, should I fire off if my next turn plan, am I going to do that? No, I'm going to do... Get him a sack of land. Okay. So unfortunately, that Opal doesn't help me. One, two. We just kind of have to worry about stuff like Force of Vigor. They obviously wanted the land more. Elvish Reclaimer is also a good one. But that we can Pithy Needle. Okay. One, two, three, four. We're drawing Shadow Spear. So the question is, do I want another Saga token? What am I going to tutor up? We already got the Shadow Spear. Tutor up Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle, turn off Safekeeper, turn off Reclaimer. See, here's one I wish I knew what they were going to play around first. I could just get Spell Bomb, and then I'm protected in a way. I'll keep this one. So they can't use it yet. They would have to rotate in. I'm going to take the opportunity to play this out. And therefore, maybe I needed to swing. Or I needed to play it out last turn. That's funny. It loses Hexproof. It doesn't lose Shroud. They are drawing a Pithy Needle. They're drawing a Pithy Needle on this turn. Okay. I mean, they could play it. By playing it, it potentially... Like, Reclaimer just isn't big enough. So is the one thing for me. Drawing Ancient Tomb to equip Shadow Spear would be hot. What say? I do like that the opponent has, if they aren't already a foil aficionado, they have taken the opportunity of the unlocked account to make their entire deck foil. I mean, bravo to them. So what do we think this is going to name? I'm going to say Shadow Spear. Because Shadow Spear is the one they need to be the most scared of. You know, granting trample. Yep. Let's draw our card. Pay. Pay. All right, this makes it lethal. Have to block. Have to block one. They don't have to block both. Okay. So now they need an additional blocker or they are in trouble. Crop rotation, perhaps? Now, what could they crop rotation for here is the question. What could they crop rotation for? I'm thinking weird corner cases that I don't want to run into. Okay. So that's still turned off. Whatever comes into play goes into... I'm just going to make them have something here. They could block. They could abrupt decay the other card. You're going to Assassin's Trophy my other card. Okay. Well... I cannot currently pay for that, but watch this. We'll let that resolve. Yes, we'll get an island. Okay. I now have hardcast force if necessary. If not, we can retrofit. We server ourselves. There we go. So, managed to stumble and bumble our way into that, but I'll take it. I will take a win no matter how I acquire the win. But yeah, that was some not realizing I could take the chalice, or I probably should have taken the chalice out just for the interaction with my own ones. And Vampire Hexmage being able to make the chalice into a liability, really, more than anything else. That is a scary proposition. Now, theoretically, I should probably be sleeving this deck as I'm looking at it. I'm looking at, I've got Painter Grindstone ready to go. I've got Japanese Painter Servants. And I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to play Painter Servant Grindstone? And while the answer is yes, I'm just not sure in the blue shell it's what I want. Yeah. I really like Karn, the Great Creator. I don't see Great Creator being the right fit if I don't need the toolbox. Like, okay, say I was playing Painter, then I could have one copy of each of them. It's like I'm playing that many more, etc., etc. They've revealed a Yorion, and they're keeping. So keeping, showing Yorion makes me think Death and Taxes. 1, 2, 3. This isn't a terrible hand. We can enable Thoughtcast. We can enable a Thought Monitor. I mean, if their turn 1 play is like, what would be bad for me is Spirit of the Labyrinth. True. I'm going to keep. A lot of deliberation there, Jeremy. Okay. As expected, turn 1, yeah. Everybody expects turn 1 Shadow Spear. Okay. 1. Well, I'm not playing Wasteland. I could turn Wasteland off. Yeah, let's turn Wasteland off. I don't want to say we're doing it, but feels like we're doing it. Ancient Tomb, Urza, Emery. Ouch. Alright, so currently with 3, we can replay to 4. I don't want to cash this bobble until I see what they do, and like, okay, that's something they can do. So, 1, 2, 3. This currently costs 4 mana. I don't have that much. This costs 2 mana. I do have that. Okay, I could deploy that. Next turn. For purposes, I think I still keep that around. I mean, it's going to depend on how or what they do with the Caracas, whether Sai can get in there and be useful. That's annoying. Yikes. Can't draw the more than one card each turn, and so far I have drawn my card. So let's get a body. Drawing a Cauldron complete. Okay. Well, we need to get that Spirit of the Labyrinth off the board. That's a good draw. We need to get lots of cards on their side off the board. Sure. So I foresee Cauldron being the biggest problem currently. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm bottlenecked on blue mana. The fact that we have Karakas turning our legends off and Spirit turning our draw cards off, that's all quite a bit problematic. Now, if I hadn't deployed Pithing Needle proactively and I could have saved that to be Karakas, I think I would be doing a lot better. But what can I really do here? I can make a Saga token. I'm not even sure that's good, because like we said, Stoneforge Mystic is going to spit out a Cauldra. It'll be a 5/5 first strike trample, and then they just equip Shadow Spear to it. How much does this cost to re-equip? 7. Okay, so they're not there yet. One, 2, 3, 4. Unfortunately, I think I just pass with the intent of having Saga turn into either Spellbound. And that's not a great plan. Thank goodness for this brilliant Pithing Needle play. Yep. You got it. Now, luckily, they don't have protection. Protection would be bad news for me. They did not equip with Shadow Spear, which I find interesting. Take it. Okay. Is this going to be Skyclave Apparition? Flicker Wisp. Okay. Flicker Wisp lets them reset the Cauldra. That's kind of brutal. Theoretically. Right on time. So then the question is, go to 7, make a thing. I think I have to. Is Spellbomb in the main? Actually, I don't think it is. Yeah, it's not. Darn it. It would be so clever to have it in the main. Yeah. So I'm at 7. It's somewhat funny, the thing I expected to get me out of this. I feel like, haha, Spellbomb could have gotten me out of it, but we didn't draw. We don't have a Spellbomb to go get, unfortunately. You know. So here comes a Flicker Wisp, which I could theoretically counter. Just have to attack. This has trample, does it not? You could give this trample. Yeah. Put trample over here on 4, and that's 9 points of trample that I could block. Maybe it's not automatic. I thought it was more automatic than apparently it is. Luckily, I don't have another legend that can just get shipped with Caracas. Okay, here they come. Wow, staying home. Like, unfortunately, there is 0% chance I can get back into this, but it would be awesome if I could have. I mean, even if I pay 2 in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say I equip Shadow Spear. I pay the 2, I get the 2 back. So, am I ahead at all? It doesn't seem like it. Oh, duh. Obviously, you aren't going to draw the cards, Jeremy. I was like, oh, let's see, let's see what we draw. Oh, darn it, nothing. And if I try to attack into them, Thalia blocks. Yeah, that's terrible. If I equip, I attack for 3. So I would pay 2, go to 4, come back up to 7. This feels wrong. This feels wrong. What are you doing? Pass. They had the Jit that we knew about. The fact they can generate first strike, maybe remove a thought monitor. I would say I feel like I've made this closer than it is. Yorion in hand. What do they need Yorion for? I get another equipment out of their deck. Get a flying blocker. Sure, Mother Runes. I feel like I'm missing something. I think I got him scared. Yeah, I might have forgot about that ability. If I play for 1 there, that doesn't seem good. You don't get to draw anything. What the heck is this card? Exile this card from your graveyard to make a 4/4 flying at black zombie. That's not fair. Had it. Had it the whole time. Should have played around it. This is awesome. I don't know how I'm coming back into this game, but I appreciate it. I could make them bigger by playing a chalice, but I don't think I want to. They could just cast this thing. That's gonna be big. Do I play chalice on one? I could. I'm not sure that I should. It makes my guys bigger. I think I just need to make my constructs as big as possible. Yep. Here's a big, dumb idiot. I can't really stop this. I hope I draw something that doesn't matter now, but see, so now my life gain engine has stopped. If I attack, they block with Thalia and bounce. I can't afford to just throw away Thought Monitor. If I play a side, they'll just bounce it. I need to be in a situation where it makes sense to have two legends, and I'm not there anymore because I threw away the Emery, where I should have thrown away Thoughtcast. Thoughtcast was never going to get any mileage. Yep. Yep. Beginning of the end. Yeah, that's bad news. Sure. That is not the card we were looking for. Although it'll let me attack now. No. Just don't bother. Okay. So, things that are relevant. Caracas for me. Dismember. Either Spellbomb. Torpor Orb. And I want to say Engineered Explosive, but I don't have a good way to hit multiple colors. Like, I have Mox Opals and I have Lotus Petals, but it doesn't feel like those are the best. Soul Guide, not great. Do I want another? I probably do want another Pithing Needle. And then I would wonder, like, Force of Will is decent, but how many Caracas does Death and Taxes play? That I don't know. So I would wonder, should I be shaving on, say, Sai and Emery? I could shave 1 and 1. I could live with that. And just need more answers to the you can't draw any cards guy. I will play first. They have Yorion. Alright, so I can play a turn 1 Torpor Orb. Then they Wasteland me. That might be worthwhile. Yes. I don't. So they can't play a turn 1 Thalia. I'm just debating running out, Bauble, etc. for purposes of playing up Thoughtcast. I think I'll just wait. I don't necessarily see a drawback other than I do not care about that. There are too many cards in their deck that I would be more worried about. I think Torpor Orb is useful, at least from my perspective. All right, so I still 1, 2. We don't we don't have white yet. 1, 2, 3. Or I should say, correction. I don't have blue yet, but hold on. There we go. There's the spice. Thought Monitor Torpor Orb combo. Brace yourself. Oh, dude, that's not the game plan anymore. You fool. You see, I've already turned that off. You're not even speaking the same language anymore. I sure hope Living Weapon works with Torpor Orb. Okay, thank God. Because that could have been terrible. So if I shrink with Mishra's Bauble, I think that's still worthwhile. Huh? Here comes Solitude. Yeah, from what I'm seeing in 8cast, Torpor Orb is not doing the job we want it to do. Are they going to go for it on my upkeep? They could. Because they know that I know that they know that I know. All right, let's go. What do you got coming? Stoneforge. Okay. So sure. Now, what are they going to go get? There's a lot of things. They get Aether Vial. They could get Pithing Needle, Resolves, Retrofitter Foundry. Sure. All right. They are sending in 3, 6, 9, putting me to 10. And then they will gain 3 life back off this Solitude. We know they pitched. This is in play. So we know they are at least holding a Stoneforge Mystic. I am just debating. No blocks. Go to 9. Take away your lifelinker. So I have a 9/9 that I can Shadow Spear next turn, or we just Shadow Spear it now. (10/10) lifelink trample flyer. Okay. So now I need to find. I got to start it up again. I mean, they have swords. That's not anything I should be surprised about. Yorion put into hand. Yep. So he doesn't get his buddy. But oh, this doesn't matter because they have Caracas. Shh, shh, shh. Don't say anything. Shh, shh, shh. Crap! They saw it. Damn it. I was like, haha, we've figured it out. Spoilers. No, he did not. That's not how that works. What? I guess this is anti-Emery? We do. Unfortunately, it would be we would have to get Sai. Sai could eat the torpor orb. Yeah. I have seen that as an anti-Doomsday, anti-Death and Taxes card, but I don't know. It turns off the Stoneforge, the Skyclave Apparition, the Flicker Wisp, but it does kind of turn on some of their stuff, and I mean, it turns off Emery's trigger. It doesn't turn that off. It turns off Thought Monitor's trigger. So some of that is not the greatest trade-off in the world, but I don't know. It's interesting. Is it worth it? I mean, not necessarily. We won the die roll. Turn 1. Nothing. Turn 1. Chalice, Petal, Thought Monitor's in there. It's lurking. Wasteland would have been bad. Don't play this. I mean, I like the idea of getting a chalice. I've already played a land, but you can't play. You can cast cards, right? So let's get a... If I tried to chalice here, we can chalice next turn. Trust me. Jeremy just trust me. Hear me out. What if we played a chalice next turn? Volcanic Go is interesting. Sure. I mean, this is a Demi-Lich avatar. Maybe they're Phoenix. Maybe they are Dark Ritual. I can't think of what do you call it. So another ancient tomb. We could go get... We could get Retrofitter Foundry for longer term. One, two, three, four. It's not big enough yet. Let's get Chalice. Okay. Attack. They could potentially make them waste time. Keep in mind, Jeremy, you're at 13. This ancient tomb has been doing some work. Dear opponent, is this chalice good enough? It doesn't feel like it should be, but I'm willing to let it be. I just realized Lotus Petal is my only source of colored mana. I'm definitely stretching on some of... I don't want to say stretching on playables. Okay. Jeskai Stoneblade out of the woodwork. Batterskull. That's adorable. Okay. So. I could make them 6/6s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thought Monitor would cost 1 and a close. Yikes. Yikes. So, things I could do. Could play a retro. Okay, here we go. We put a chalice out on 0. And see if our opponent is paying attention. I mean, maybe they don't know what Retrofitter Foundry does. It's possible. They did not declare blockers. Take 14. All right. So, I don't know what I want. Like, do I think they have Ragavan and stuff like that? I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of want to force them to show me they have it. I was going to say, were those chalices any good? But it kind of feels like they were. Potentially, just knowing once the chalice sticks, knowing all the things that it turns off for them. The question I'm having is whether or not I want this Force of Negation. I feel like, once again, we're gonna play mostly on my turn, or the things they're gonna play on their own turn I can't deal with Force of Negation anyway. Is there anything here that I wasn't necessarily happy with? Oh, no, I'm seeing cards I want to bring in. Like, Pithing Needle is maybe the weakest of what they had. Or what I should say I have. If I had Caracas, it's not like I'm going to necessarily draw it in combination with Ragavan for them. Aether Spellbomb. I like the idea of Aether Spellbomb. I just don't know about actually playing it. I'm noticing a trend of Grafdigger's Cage, Torpor Orb, of cards that stop us from playing our own deck, and I don't know what that's about. I think I gotta hurry up. I think it's probably Pithy Needle. And I am going to be on the draw. The fact I'm on the draw is I'm going to take a chalice out, and that's the only reason. I'll still draw it, don't worry. See? No blue sources at all. They have kept 7. My thought is Lantern is something that I can return for card draw with Emery, but also I was a little bit worried about what's the big blue idiot? Murktide Regent. I wanted something that can potentially keep Murktide Regent in check. See? What did I tell you? Keep. So 2. Who's worse? I keep Emery in case they kill it. I kind of want to ship Island, but I can't. So I ship Opal. So they'll play something. My turn 1, I play Chalice. My turn 2, I could play Sai. If I haven't lost already then. So I think it's going to be... Dude, sure. Cool. They could just have Prismatic Ending and this doesn't matter anyway, but... Okay. Cauldron complete. So they had it. They just didn't look for it last time, or maybe it's sideboard? That's weird. If I go there... Could I... No, not yet. Did I bring it in? I did not bring the spell bomb in, so that was wrong. Maybe they don't care about chalices? That feels like it feels like they should care about chalices. Does it have trample? It does have trample. So Prismatic Ending. What? What? Do you have Lightning Bolt? Pyroblast. Alright, dude, I'm super confused right now. What is even going on? One, two, three. One. They could have Snapcaster. So let's take Pyroblast. And 1, 2. This means this costs 3. Had it the whole time. Never didn't have it. Seat, pedal. Okay, the only thing you can play out of that is pedal. Bobble them to try to get something going. Drawing forcible. That's fair. Yep. I am at a paltry 13. Correction. 8. Bolt. Red Elemental Blast and Pirate. Well, okay. I was going to say, main deck. Well, actually, this is game 2, champ. So. 1. 3. 4. This costs 4 mana, which I could play. I could also generate that 4 means it costs 3, and I don't have that much. It's going to swing in for 5. It's 5 with trample. They have force of will. I think I have to go that way. So generate. They now have hard cast force. Take it. They could just have bolt, I guess, which would be kind of funny. All right, so I drew a force for me. So go down to 1, get that, equip. That's not how that works. Search. Shadow Spear. Equip. Okay. Bash. All right. Can this turn the beats around? We know they're holding force, but we don't know what the other card is. Why would you fetch? This could be expressive iteration. Or meltdown or X equals 1. So here's the question. Do you think they've got it? Had it the whole time. So they have 2 cards. They have force and not. What? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm gonna play this one. Can't play more than 1 non-creature. Okay, there's my non-creature. So, question here is actually maybe I don't do that. What I need to do is suit up to the flyer. Yeah, that's the better thing is suit up to the flyer and plan to kill them that way. Because this is first strike indestructible, and if it deals combat damage, so it's going to kill me prior to... Yeah, never mind. So... Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. So... No attackers. Second main. Equip to the flyer. And what are you going to draw? You're going to draw a land. I think I'm okay with you drawing a land. Do I want to shrink these any further? Yeah, I think I want the cards. I think I want the cards. Correction. Correction! I want good cards. Alright, that's a good one. But they have Hardcast Force available to them. So if they have Hardcast Force, I think I need to be able to keep up protection from my side. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's attack. Keep this one. And then as long as this doesn't have wide, I can go wide next turn and kill them. So I know that their last card is Force of Will in hand. So this could potentially give them something. If I counter this, I know it's countered. We go to my turn. I swing wide. They don't have lifelink. Why not Chalice over Opal there? Nice. Don't need to play it, but no real loss in playing that. We just happen to draw. We happen to draw the right cards together to break through. So far, not really liking the sideboard I put together here. And I don't know, the main deck, I feel like we've only seen Nettle Cyst once or twice. But it seems like it could be powerful. I like the idea of Nettle Cyst tying together with the Thopters from Sai. Or the Thopters from Sai getting turned into constructs. All you have to do is tap the Retrofitter Foundry. I think that could be a clever way. Sometimes you want the flyer. Sometimes you want the 4/4s. I don't know. This... Coming back to these opening hands of how can I cast Chalice on the first turn and stuff, it's just not as impressive. I do think Nettle Cyst is powerful, and especially like you put it on a Thought Monitor, you fly in there or something like that. I feel like that could be really, really something big. All right, opponent is keeping 7. We have a turn 1 Emery with the potential to be a turn 2 Karn and go to town. Maybe. Ponder. Turn 1 island, ponder, what? They could have a follow-up, maybe not. No shuffle. Well, that's obviously better. They have auto-yielded. Monitor, and a Thoughtcast. I can't play any of those, so I'm actually going to keep the bauble here for purposes of... Wait to see if they try to remove anything, because it's not like I can start playing the Thought Monitors yet. Maybe going into my turn. Maybe once they've set up their ponder here, if I get back, like in their end step, if I can come back to my turn. Okay, that was a shuffle ponder. Teferi on top. Okay. So they have a Teferi coming. I'm gonna say, when did we draw these? Did I miss? Oh, Mishra's Bauble drew the Saga, and then I drew Nettlesis. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So we know a Teferi is coming. Let's try to put a Bauble out here. So now, 1, 2, 3, I could try to deploy Nettlecyst. I could try to deploy... I wanted to dig deeper. I thought that made more sense. I can either drop a Karn. I could... 1, 2, 3... I could start with a Thought Monitor. I could deploy a Nettlecyst and see what else we find. Kind of like that. My thought here is we have the potential... Or I think I was thinking of it backwards. I was thinking, I could draw into... What do you call it? So now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4. That's reduced. Maybe I needed to go Saga there. Triome. So the fact they Kretch that means they aren't drawing this Teferi. Okay. They have Caracas. Instead, have decided to Prismatic Ending. Resolves. So therefore, I won't cash in the Bauble. They also could have just bounced. One, two, three, four. I like how we have pumped up the Nettlecyst with the chalice, or I'm sorry, the Saga. Is this the kind of deck that has Wrath of God? I don't know. I have no idea. We have faced Caracas, I believe, in almost every match. Nettlecyst down. If only. If only there were more Nettlecysts out there to be played. if I equipped it right now, this is +9. I would attack for 11. Or is it better to be across 2 bodies? It might be better to be across a couple bodies. End step, Saga. Because even if, say, they can deal with what we have here, we'll then make a new XX. And this might just be putting too much pressure onto them. But then what I'm more interested in is how can I... Prismatic ending, X equals 1. You're going after the germ token? Okay. So he drew a pithy needle. That's unfortunate. Is this a dress down? Could be. This could, in fact, be a dress down. So we can plan for the future. One, two. Would I still have enough afterwards? No. So, like I said, if they have dress down here. Oh, I almost played the pithy needle. Glad I didn't, because I would have felt dumb. So if I suit up, that means I can't also equip Saga. They would have to have an instant speed. Like, they literally just have dress down. This gets around dress down. No, it doesn't. Judge, does equipment get around dress down? I want to say no. Right? That feels wrong. It's not the creature itself with the text. It is being granted by the equipment, which is what we ran into with dress down. Dress down in response to Cauldron Complete. So I do believe that should go in my favor. All right. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot of removal and stuff on their side, but I don't quite know what they are playing. Yeah. Rug-colored triome, Caracas Island. So they could... Well, no, they were playing prismatic, so they could be 4 color. So if they're 4 color, they could be Uro. And if they're Uro, then I probably want the Soul Guide Lantern. We got there eventually. Pithing Needle. If they're Uro, do I want Grafdigger's Cage? I don't know. I'm not really seeing... They have sorcery speed removal that could make Force Negation not terrible. I'm debating if I actually want to change anything. Like, Grafdigger's Cage can hurt my own Emeries. That's why I'm not in a rush to play it. It feels weird to run this back straight up. Pithing Needle felt weak. Pithy Needle could become Spellbomb against Murktide Regent. I'm sure Pithy Needle will be needed immediately. Alright. They've kept 7. This hand doesn't do anything. This hand redraws, but that doesn't feel like enough. One, two. Okay, so turn 1, Saga. Turn 2, Tomb. From that, I feel like Opal is the worst card here. Especially if it gets dealt with. And see what we draw into. Well, let's see if they let me. It's too... This is why you need Pithing Needle, so you can stop the Flooded Streams. Rug Triome again. Incoming Dress Down. I was gonna say, I don't know if I can stack them. No. It's how it triggers off the third ability. The third ability, you have to go down the stat. You would have to fire off the construct in your upkeep? No, you can't stack it in the reverse way. Digging deep here. So far, this does keep Uro mana, at least, I should say. Oh, we don't have Pithy Needle to punish. That hurts so much. I wish we had Pithy Needle to punish. Retrofitter Foundry. I'm going to play Land Mox Opal, but I'm not going to have anything really to go with it. I could play Soul Guide Lantern to start removing their food. If it is Uro. Like, if they have Prismatic Ending, I don't necessarily want to just run Retrofitter Foundry into it. I could see something like, if we could even go Lotus Petal, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discount, I could play Thought Monitor. That doesn't feel good enough. So I'm going to go Soul Guide Lantern. 3, 4, 5. I was going to say, am I setting myself up for a dress down here, but they don't have the mana to dress down? Force, exiling, Snapcaster Mage. Okay. Can't play anything else right now. They could have swords. They have Force of Vigor. Exiling Uro. Okay. At least we guessed correctly. I'll allow it. So they are kind of 4-color, 5-color control. It's I don't. Would you have Murktide in your Uro deck? I mean, probably not. Okay, so step 1, 1, 2, 3. I like to Thoughtcast. What do you got here? Hull Breacher. Well, that's terrible. I can't deal with a Hull Breacher. Yikes. Yeah. What do I do against Hull Breacher? That's terrible. Yeah, that's a good point. That's not that. So, more chalices and lotus petals. I mean, I can't even cash in this Mishra's Bauble. Prismatic Ending, sure. Yikes. That helps. One, two, three. I mean, you don't want to. I don't want to cast this Hot Monitor. I don't know who I'm getting. So it costs. Like, do I just give them more treasures so that I have a 2/2? That seems dumb. 1, 2, 3. It means it costs 4. I mean, I can put it out there to block. I mean, that sounds terrible, but I'm hoping to get this saga online and hope the saga can pull me through. I like how Infinity Treasure Tokens Collector Oof? Sure, champ. I'm trying to think, what are the other... I need like a 1-drop that comes in and like blows up the world. I don't believe they play those ones. Might as well get some of the stuff out there. I mean, they could just draw Force of Vigor and stuff like that, and it would be terrible for me. I'm trying to make multiple lethal threats is the game plan here. They have drawn a lot of land. I appreciate them for it. That sounds like a Wrath of God if I've ever seen it. This also could just be suicide. Terminus. Okay. Any order. They are drawing a Savannah, which is awesome. Yikes. 4, 3. I need to get 2 to make a servo. 2 to equip it. I want to put a somewhat semi-lethal threat out there. So the fact that they did not, we know they drew this Savannah, right? And now they're holding it. Well, that potentially helps. 1, 2, 3. That gives me 1. And let's suit up this bad boy. Rawr. Pow! Yeah, Nettle Cyst confirmed. Pretty freaking good. Not bad, not bad. So the more I'm thinking about it, like these Karn Scions, I could see making one of them an Urza, and then maybe like I have another. Is there another aggro threat? Maybe I want a second Retrofitter Foundry. I mean, Retrofitter Foundry has the ability to be pretty impressive. Lost the die roll. Uh-oh, we are playing against a secret lair. Oh, I'm sorry. Magic lair. Sorry. Okay. They're keeping 7. I foresee Urza going crazy, and Urza is a 4-mana card that spits out the construct that Karn would, with the ability to have all your extraneous stuff kind of be supercharged. Is the mulligan. This is a turn 1 Chalice with force backup if I let it. I would just have to get rid of Opal, get rid of Saga. I necessarily don't want to get rid of Saga. I also don't know that force is good, but I also like the idea of force. You don't know. I don't know that Chalice is good. It's either force. So I go for it. I like the idea of Saga being my follow-up. Although, okay, if I ship Mox Opal and I go for turn 1 Chalice X on 1 by cashing in the Lotus Petal, Saga doesn't follow that up. I guess we just have to see whether or not Verdant Catacomb Thoughtseize. What? Who plays Swamp? Nobody plays Swamp. Unmask. Targeting themselves, I'll allow it. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. No. Nope. Man, I really wish I had a Urza Saga. Alright, so I can still play turn 1 and just have to... I currently just have to worry about them, say, drawing Unearth. Unearth would be Bad News Bears. But I think I would rather protect against another Reanimate. Like, if they draw Unearth, they got me. Especially since the Lotus Petal is already there. They're thinking long and hard about the power of this Mox Opal. No, I said it didn't make sense to get rid of Force of Will. We just didn't know if we needed it or not. We didn't know if we needed any of it, honestly. And that's part of the thing, is you never know what you need. Sometimes you reach behind yourself and you grab a welding jar. Sometimes you have an autographed Pyrite Spellbomb. Sometimes you have Mazavith. Alright, it finally came into play. I do kind of wonder, for the times we miss in Dirtle, is there a companion that would fit in this deck? I can't think of one. Alright, we just wait to see if they draw something. Swamp. This is exciting. We're literally racing them, drawing a... Okay. Could this be Unearth Protection? It is not yet Unearth Protection, but we're going to get a Nettlecyst and start going to town. Yikes. Uh-oh, what do they got in response? I have my Phyrexian Germ token. Don't draw Unearth, man. Grief. I'll allow it. Are they targeting? Oh, it's only... Grief is only target opponent. Good to know. That's a good draw. Okay, I am not allowed to play Retrofitter Foundry, so let's go get Lotus Petal. So, yeah, it's not lethal yet, so we attack for 8. If I suit all the way up, it's not trample, it's not anything fancy. Yep, that makes the most sense. All right, can we dodge it? What a jerk. I like the fact that my Nettlecysts are larger than this teeny weeny Gristlebrand. I do expect there to be changes in Legacy. What I'm curious is how big are the changes going to be? Like, is it just going to be something out of the top deck? Are they looking at, oh no, we've got to go after multiple decks? Like, I'm definitely interested how they are going to approach that. I don't know if there would be unbans. I think that would be interesting to see. I think anything that they could potentially unban comes with a financial aspect that I wish didn't exist, but I think it just might. I would expect something out of the Blue-Red Delver deck. I expect them to hit the more recent cards. I would rather see them go after something more foundational. Like, I don't even think Daze is the right thing, but I would be interesting if they did go after Daze. Deathrite Shaman is problematic for its own reasons, but it would not be necessarily a financial one. I was going to say, I'm not sure what is going through opponent's mind. We have reached their cleanup step. They will be discarding some cards. And am I going to attack them? They're going to gain life while losing life? Okay, they just need to get to the next turn, which it currently seems like they will be able to. Attack for 9. If they block there, they gain 7, go to 11, and die. They block there. They gain 7, go to 11, take 9. They would have to have another Unearth. So they gain 7, go up to 11, take 9, go down to 2. We needed I don't know. We needed more than whatever this was. So the question is, do they have something to reanimate the Sarah's Emissary? Sarah's Emissary giving them protection from creature? So then the question is, can I deal with Animate Dead? You and creatures you control have protection from creatures. I'm just trying to think. Is there anything? Yeah. Oh, okay. Forgot about that. Do I have a burn spell? I am not seeing a way out. No, they needed to stay alive enough. Yeah. That was frustrating. To get very close and not being able to pan it off. Something like engineered explosives could be an answer, but unfortunately we didn't have it. And either spell bomb, we didn't have it. So I'm going to bring in spell bomb. I'm going to bring in 4 force negations for this. The what do you call it? We want Grafdigger's Cages. And I mean, Caracas is an anti Gristle brand, but I mean, that's not terrible. Speaking of terrible, are these Pithing Needle can be put on Gristlebrand? Whether or not that's the best idea. What other answers would I have? Either Spellbomb, Grafdigger's Cage, Engineered Explosives would have been our outs. We just didn't have them. And then in general, that's not what they're gonna go for. Like Caracas, they have Archon and stuff like that. I guess I don't know if I want the explosives. The question is, what am I taking out? If I'm bringing in Force Negation, Psychic Purge is a blue damage spell. I mean, am I supposed to trim things like the Retrofinner, the Carns? Is it more, can I just stay alive until necessary? So then maybe I do want this other Pithing Needle. And then I rely on stuff like the Thoughtcasts and the Thought Monitors and the like to get me back in, and then I take out that. I will be on the play, let Nettlesys do heavy lifting, so then if I say no to explosives... How many more? 3 more. One, 2, 3. Wow. Wow! 4 of a kind. Look at that. 4 of a kind. Gross. Come on, man. They're keeping 7, so their hand is obviously great. His hand sucks. I didn't want to go down another. Like, I know I'm expecting discard from them, and that is what was more frustrating. Is I didn't want to run into their discard, but I don't even want. I was just thinking I am insulated from discard while still being able to interact with them. Like, sure. I didn't even. I just assumed they were targeting me. That's very. As we saw, a play they can make, a legal play in Reanimator is target myself. I have lost my side. Hey, I'm exhume proof. All right, I'm a little bit short on this thought monitor at the moment. A little bit short. Beginning combat. Resolves? You're gonna go get. Okay, that's not what I expected. Ooh, you don't even know how many thought monitors I have. I've just had multiple steps of thought monitor. I was gonna say, oh yeah, do we let exhume resolve? No, we don't let exhume resolve. Unmask targeting J Penter. Spoilers, I've got counters for days. Ah, they pitched exhume. That's funny. Is there a creature that can come into play and give them their reanimation? They took a negation. Okay. I mean, force? Okay. I mean, force? Like, you exiled and exhume, and then you played multiple more. Oh, we can start playing Thoughtcast if we rip them off the top. Like, without fancy draws, did you seriously just have? I was gonna say, look at me go. Sure, buddy. Faithless Looting is a good choice. Bravo for that one. Yep. Do. I was thinking more. It's a 2 and a black for a 2/2. It might be from like Odyssey or Onslaught block. It was like Doomed Necromancer or something. It's like black and sacrifice and a kind of shallow grave effects. I don't think it was a spell shaper. It might have been a spell shaper. It's there you go. There is a Archon of Cruelty now in the graveyard, and that scares me. Nettle Cyst. There you go. It's a it's a 1/1. You go, Nettle Cyst. You go. Shit. I declare shenanigans. Man, that's just mean. They could dredge this. That's what's funny, is that it's a dredgeable option. What do you got? Paying costs. Hard cast grief. Okay. Yeah, I would think the blue is for show and tell. White is for Serenity. I've seen that out of the sideboards. Hello. I can double block. Maybe they'll forget. Oh, dummy. They dredged back the shenanigans. I wasn't even thinking about it. Completely forgot about the shenanigans. So here's something. If I let that resolve, I can still block and trade with grief. No, I think I need to get deeper. I need the value. Yikes, yeah. That would be a good card for because see, now they can put the pressure on, and not only did I hit with Ancient Tomb. So the thought here is, if I use what do they got? Gristlebrand? It's something. Now, I could cash it in immediately, eat both of these to try to draw into something. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I think this is running away. I needed something better, and I just didn't get it. Because we're gonna draw Ancient Tomb off the top. We've drawn a lot of Ancient Tombs, but okay. We're gonna keep it this time with the intent to force a negation the shenanigans. All right, one-time dealer. Oh, come on, jerk. I had a game plan. What? What a massive jerk. And then they're going to kill that. They're going to kill the Thopter so I can't block. So they'll make me blow up. That's funny. All right. So they have cast the Shenanigans. I go to 2. I'm running out of... I got to have a second artifact here. You're killing me, Smalls. We needed to hit. Well, not that. $74 turns late. Yeah, that was a little frustrating to end as we did against Reanimator, but it happens. So, okay, Fallout. What would we change here? I think Scion is maybe a sideboard card, but I don't know. Overall, the Chalices were okay. Maybe we put a Psy back in. Like, if we're going kind of... Whoa. I forgot we have this set up. Okay, so if we put a Psy back, if we added an Urza, that would offset... No, we said we wanted another Retrofitter Foundry. I could see Hull Breacher coming out of the sideboard. What I'm wondering is... Well, okay, before, when I was fitting stuff in, I did take out... Where was the original list I pulled up? The original list, okay. We cut Urza's Baubles. What do we put in place of Urza's Baubles? We already had Psy and Emery. We already have the Nettle Cysts here. What do we put in place of Urza's Bauble? Pithy Needle, Retro Finish. Oh, we moved a Soul Guide Lantern into the main? So it was a Soul Guide Lantern, the Urza, and then we added... Oh, sorry, it was a land. So this plus... This is the 5-0 list. Sorry. We add 4 Urza's Bauble to this. So... This is the streamlined turbo version, if you will, that plays 4 more zeros to help set up the Thoughtcast and the Thought Monitor. I don't know. I'm just not entirely sold on the Chalice of the Void version, but like I said, this is playing that. And there are many times that Chalice will be good. You know, that is literally just a fact. I just wonder in some of these other ones, what is this? Mono blue aggro. See, I don't necessarily want the echo and stuff, and yeah, I mean, we don't have Lion's Eye. We don't need Lion's Eye, really. So a lot of these decks seem to have the same setup, and I might need to go a little bit off that reservation. So, well, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate everybody. If you're watching and are not already a follower of a channel, please consider following. It really would help me. If you're watching this later, I take my videos and I upload them to YouTube. You can find me either at jpintermtg or look for Swish Gaming. The Swish Gaming has swishgaming.com is our website, or The Swish Gaming on Twitter, and the same over on YouTube. And you can find not only my great content, but the rest of my teammates. So, play a lot of different formats. They play Arena as well as Magic Online. Go check them out. Tell them I said hi. I think we're going to play something very similar to this. I have a half day tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream or if I'm going to be running around trying to pick up cards. But stay tuned to my Twitter account, jpintermtg. Or, hey, if you're following the channel, you'll get a notification. So, yeah. Take care. We'll see you next time.